we had deep voice guy. We had robotic woman. We've had some interesting voiceovers for this show, but I am really liking what we're getting this year. Welcome back. Yes, you fools, you. Welcome back to the Week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview. Here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Edgy Tim here, along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and the sheriff, Evan Bredesen, behind the board, spinning the dials. Like I said, it's already been a successful show. We now have a nickname for Evan.
Right. Yes.
So I'm pretty much done for the next 2 hours. I really have nothing else worth contributing. But, again, appreciate everybody checking in and coming to listen and watch online. By the way, Joe.
Yes, sir.
You can watch us live online in the studio. It's quite a show we put on here behind the scenes. It's exciting. You get to see me with a window kind of behind me and Joe with a TV screen above him.
Big Bang Theory's on right now.
And Evan's so popular, the sheriff, he has no camera covering him. So, but it works for us. So welcome aboard. We will be here the next 2 hours talking exclusively IHSA football, certainly focusing in here on the WJOL listening area. Joe, 1 week in the books. I can tell you my thoughts and takes from Friday. I was down in the west side. I was in the south side on Western Avenue, taking in Mount Carmel and St. Rita, kind of what you would expect. Huge turnout, huge crowd, big game, very good game, as we've talked about earlier. It almost felt normal. Except for the 92 degrees and 100% humidity at 8 o'clock at night. Otherwise, Joe, it almost felt normal to me. It almost felt like we were back to where we were back in 19.
A lot of excitement. I know I was at the Bolingbrook-Minooka game down in Minooka. By the way, the press box was air conditioned. Evan.
Yeah, fill us in. Give us a little. A little review.
I tell you what, the press box is it's a mini version of U of I down in Illinois. I mean, I'm serious. It's comfortable, great sight lines. People were very nice, but that 60 degrees in the press box was very nice. Very nice. But the crowd.
Did you bring a jacket, a light sweater?
No, I said they can turn it down to 40. I would settle for frostbite if I had to.
Were there snacks? Were there?
No, there were no snacks.
Well, we'll
but
work
that's
on
okay.
That next time.
That's okay. But big crowd. Bolingbrook brought a nice crowd, but the stands at Minooka were absolutely filled also.
Yeah, I actually heard from the Bolingbrook players that said how awesome the atmosphere was.
It was.
You know, the brand new stadium, and we're going to have John Ivelo on the show.
Right.
We'll talk to John about that. I know John, I talked to him, was very, very impressed with the new stadium layout at Minooka. So welcome aboard. We'll be here the next 2 hours, as I mentioned, covering IHSA football. Of course, we want to thank our sponsors extraordinaire, State Farm agents, Kevin Malloy and New Lenox and John Wright and Joliet. Joe, like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
And again, our broadcast schedule this weekend here on 1340 WJOL is as follows. 6:05 Friday Night Lights with Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen. He will be bringing you previews and updates all throughout his show, which will lead into our game of the week on Friday. Joe, where are you heading?
Naperville Central.
Naperville Central hosting Lincoln Way East, a terrific Week 2 showdown of two top-ranked teams in Class 8A. And again, bonus football on Saturday. The one, the only, the mayor, Scott Slocum, heading down to St. Louis in the St. Louis area to cover a 2 o'clock kickoff between Joliet Catholic Academy at Cardinal Ritter, Joe.
My daughter, when she first moved down there to St. Louis, she lived about 5 or 6 blocks away from Cardinal Ritter. Went by it a couple times. Then at West Central End, they call it, down in St. Louis, down by St. Louis University.
Yeah, there you go. Well, again, that's a very popular area for sure. That I told you, I drove through there not too long ago, and there's a lot going on in that area for sure. We got to make sure Slocum gets over the Pappies for ribs, and maybe over to
the Hill.
The Hill,
yes.
Maybe. We'll work on them.
Yeah,
we'll get them straightened out. All right, so that's the broadcast schedule is as follows. Joe, the Week 2 WJOL EDGYTIM Big 5 poll is as follows.
We have a new school here, ranked number 5, Providence Catholic. Big win over Willowbrook.
You're close.
It's a brook.
50-50.
It's a brook. Bolingbrook is number 4. Lockport is 3. JCA is 2, and Lincoln Way East is 1.
That is the week 2 WJOL EDGYTIM.com Big 5 poll. You can hear that poll every Monday morning on the Scott Slocum in the morning program. We're going to open up phone lines early because we're going to be pretty guest intensive over the next hour and a half or so. So 815-254-7300. If you have a question, a thought, we would love to hear from you. Again, that's 815-254-7300. Joe, your thoughts and observations from the Bolingbrook route, dare I say it, over Minooka.
I'm going to call John Ivelo Lou Holtz Jr. I mean, talking to him at the coaches show a week before that, he didn't know about his offensive line. He really didn't know about the defense of the front seven. They dominated the game from the start. Minooka turned the ball over the first time they had the ball, and then it was all Bolingbrook from then on. But very impressive with the Brook. It was a total team effort, offensively and defensively, by them. And I'm going to talk to John. The one negative to that, and of course, coaches always have something negative to say to their team the next day, no matter if they win the way John did or not. Penalties could cost them.
We'll get into
down
that.
The road.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll talk to John a little bit later in the 6 o'clock hour. As far as Minooka, and we talked about this in the preseason show, we talked about the fact that they now have non-conference games. So they had a tough one. Oswego lost to Neuqua Valley.
I saw that, yes.
So it wasn't a great start for the Southwest Prairie West, but I will argue till I'm blue in the face.
I don't want to see blue in the face from you.
No. But I will tell you right now, games like that, Joe, are going to make them both better teams.
Oh, Minooka's a good team. I mean, and they're going to be good. It's just that it was the first game, and we always say the between the first and second game is the biggest jump. They've got some quality players. Mr. Hudek, Tyler, I think his first name is. To me, he was the best player from Minooka on the field.
Yeah.
And they do have a nice offensive line defense. I mean, it just didn't work out for them.
It happens in a first game.
It sure does. But they're going to be. Don't worry, Indian fans. They're good. They're going to be good. They are going to be good.
Out to the phone lines. We'll find out if this guy's packing up the truck or not. Our friend Bob. Hello, Bob.
What's up, guys?
Well, what's the plans for this weekend, sir?
We'll probably leave about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Head down there.
Oh yeah, plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Get down there, settle in. Do we tailgate or no?
No, they don't let you go in and out most of the time.
Yeah, you don't know what every place is gonna allow and what have you.
And Bob, the parking lot for the football stadium, from what I understand, not too many cars.
Yeah.
Pretty small. So
I heard the stadium is small too.
I didn't really see the
stadium.
I can't tell you. I heard there's turf on it now, though. I believe there's turf. So
we'll have Jaws on at about 6:25, and we'll get some more information and details on Cardinal Ritter.
Yeah,
but
I heard they got about 3 or 4 players that weigh 300 pounds.
Yeah, I mean they've got talent, but honestly, Bob, we were talking a little bit about this before the show. Let's just say that the transfer market in the greater St. Louis area has never been more active. And I think that unfortunately for Cardinal Ritter, they have had some departures on their roster over the last year or so. So I think it could have been a lot more scary than what it might be on Saturday, Bob. But again, still a quality team. I give Jaws and everyone at JCA a ton of credit for really boosting the non-conference schedule. And again, I know that score against Simeon was a rout, but in some years more than others, you might wind up getting a different Simeon team that you saw. So you never know what you're going to get, Bob. But again, I give JCA a lot of credit for upping up their non-conference schedule for sure.
One more question. There's no more Friday night lights? You guys don't do that no more on TV?
Oh, yeah. No. I'm glad you brought that up. No, no more high school lights on NBC Sports Chicago, unfortunately. Bob, you're going to have very limited television outlets this year. I know CN 100 is still in the works of trying to get some things going, but for right now, they do not have any plans to cover the games.
Okay.
They're looking at, I think, maybe mid-September is what last time I think I heard something, but they're still planning to move forward. The U, I know that they're still contracted to do the IHSA state title, and I know they're going to do the playoff pairing show. I've kind of been talking to them a little bit about that, but they still have one more year on the contract. But regular season wise, I have not heard a word if they're going to do anything. So unfortunately, Bob, we're getting less coverage, and that's not a good thing.
We may have to get Susie to put all the scores in the Herald News so we know who's winning.
Well, you know what? Here's another issue, Bob, and I'm glad you brought this up as well. It's very hard getting information and scores now because a lot of these newspapers have had to cut jobs. They've cut budgets. You are not getting a dozen reporters and stringers out of games anymore. It's not happening. And the reason for that, Bob, is, you know, I don't know if you still get a hard newspaper or not, but no one's subscribing to newspapers anymore. That's the problem. Now you can get a lot of the Herald News stuff online on their Friday Night Drive product, but you ask anyone in the newspaper side of things, and Bob, no one's happy with the lack of scores and the lack of coverage. No one.
All righty.
All right, my friend. I hope I answered some questions for you.
You did. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Bob. That Bob drops off. I have an open line at 815-254-7300. Gentlemen, this is becoming more and more of an issue as the fan, such as Bob and others, are discovering where did all the coverage go?
It's not how it was even 5 years ago.
No,
not even close. As I said to you guys before the show, I went to get the paper. The Herald News isn't 7 days a week anymore. So I went, the Sunday paper is a Saturday, Sunday, they call it the weekend. And I went to get the scores for Friday night and get some information, and there was only 3 scores.
And look,
and I understand. I mean, it's hard on Seuss to do all that stuff.
And it's just not him. He has bosses. He has people above him that are making business decisions, and that's fine. And they're not the only ones. It's everywhere.
Right.
It's absolutely everywhere. And it's not getting any better anytime soon.
Because I remember last year you were talking about the Daily Herald, the guy that
Kevin Schmidt,
he's
no
not
longer
doing
covering
sports.
preps.
Nope.
You know, a lot of really good people. And I joked when I was on the sidelines Friday, I was with Mike O'Brien. I was with a couple of the local, one of the Daily Southtown guys, and I looked at him. I said, you know, it's really good to see you guys. And I meant it because there's very few people out there covering games anymore.
Right.
And these are guys, and because I'm in a room with 2 guys that do it, you guys don't do it for the money.
No.
Okay. A lot of these stringers don't do it for the money. They do it for the love of doing it and love it for being involved in the sport. And that's what really hurts. It hurts when you've got guys that have been doing it like a Kevin Schmidt for 20 plus years. And now all of a sudden he's covering a news beat and he's not providing outstanding commentary and coverage, which he absolutely loves to do.
Right.
Kevin Schmidt goes back to my days covering the DVC before I started working here when I was still in college and I was covering the DVC. I used to run into Kevin Schmidt almost every weekend at a game. He was a mainstay of that conference for years, but just a mainstay of high school coverage in our areas. Well, and when you lose a voice like that, you're losing an incredible talent just in the terms of the attention you can help bring on the sport.
At least Kevin's still working.
Yes.
You know, he's still working at the Herald. He still has a job. I'm thrilled he just still has a job.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've got more and more cuts and more, you know, and I feel terrible for guys like Steve Soucy and these other editors because they're taking the body blows from everyone.
Right.
It's not really their call at all. They're working the best of what they have. And they have about a third of what they had maybe a year ago.
Look at the 2 big papers in town. The Trib and
what 2 big newspapers? The Tribune doesn't cover anything on their own. All you're getting are carryover stories from their suburban papers.
And that's the thing that's remarkable to me is there was a time, and again, this is a long time ago, and this isn't coming back anytime soon. You had like 5 people in the preps department at the Trib. You had 5 people in the preps department at the Sun-Times. You opened up the paper on Saturdays and Sundays, and it was filled with coverage. These papers, though, they don't have those resources anymore.
No.
The resources have been cut into, and as a result, they have had to make cuts.
Sometimes has Mike O'Brien, and they have Mike Clark. And Mike Clark is splitting time between the Northwest Indiana Times, where his real job is, and then filling in wherever he can for the Sun Times. So he's theoretically a stringer for the Sun Times. So it's one guy. So
one guy in all of Chicago.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I remember the day when Bob Sacamano was cut loose from the Sun Times. I mean, that was a shocker to me. Tribune.
Yep. 815-254-7300. Would love to get your thoughts, but so that's certainly been an issue. I know we have a canceled game in the area this week. Romeoville was set to play at West Aurora. Joe, that game has been canceled.
Okay.
And all I can tell you is that I know for certain that West Aurora will be hosting Eisenhower Friday.
Okay.
So no one's talking, but I've got to think all arrows and all roads are leading to Romeoville being involved. And again, if you don't get anything from the school, you don't really have any reason why this was canceled, but hopefully we'll be able to find that out sometimes. I know certainly news department's working on it and other people are trying to get straight and to get to the bottom of it, and we will. So, but Joe, unfortunately, we're starting to see a little bit more and more of this. But here's one thing I want to throw out there for everybody. And again, my guy, Matt Lang,
here he is.
I have a podcast every Wednesday called Third and Lang, and Matt, we've had him on the show. He's head coach at Havana.
Right.
The only coach I know that's coached ducks and bunnies in his career. Okay.
That's right.
He talked about the amount of cancellations last week and that a large majority of those cancellations, Evan, were not COVID related. They were numbers related.
Wow.
So it's not just COVID that's shutting down these programs, and even in the city as well in Chicago, there's more and more programs that are suddenly not fielding a football team. It's not necessarily COVID, it's numbers. Now, whether these schools will come out and say it or not, it's a whole other thing because, as you well know, it's a very weird subject with a lot of coaches. They don't like talking about it.
No, they don't.
But just remember that. Keep that in the back of your mind. It's not always an automatic COVID delay or pause or whatever politically correct term we're calling it now.
Do you think we'll have down the road, and I probably won't be around, but down the road where we'll have more 8-man football teams in Illinois than 11-man?
It's more than doubled in a year. We went from 8 to 20.
Yep.
20 this year, 10 north, 10 south, and it's going to continue to grow. One thing I am very happy about, Evan, Bob the Builder.
Yeah, he's
back listening to the show and just put that out there on the live stream. So it makes me happy when our guys are back out there. All right. We're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, we will go out to the phone lines. Jake Jaworski Jaws will join us, the head coach of Joliet Catholic Academy. You're listening to the Week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
This is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
At Jiffy Lube, it's our job to make car care make sense with personalized service reviews that swap the car talk for straight talk, so you know what your car is telling you and what to do about it. Where highly trained Jiffy Lube service technicians have your back, helping you take care of the small stuff before it becomes big stuff. Plus a full range of services from oil changes to tires, brakes, batteries, and more at select locations. We've got what your car needs, right when you need it. So when you're ready for whatever's next, putting you in the driver's seat of car care, that's a job for Jiffy. Visit ChicagolandJiffyLube.com to find a service center near you.
Paint? No. Paramount isn't just paint. It's the #1 paint in overall interior hide and stain resistance, providing the most advanced protection in just one coat. And now you can get that same outstanding protection with our new Paramount One Coat White. This first-of-its-kind one-coat ready mix white provides a beautiful white finish. You'll find Paramount paint exclusively at Menards. In third-party tests, interior paint claims versus super premium home center brands in eggshell sheen. Do you know what to do when a car is pulled over on the side of the road? First, reduce your speed. Second, change lanes if possible. Third, proceed with caution. These 3 simple steps can be the difference between life and death the next time you're on the road.
Do the right thing. Slow down, move over, and drive like your life and their life depends on it. Sponsored by the Illinois Broadcasters Association. Aired in cooperation with this station. Thanks to the AAA Auto Club for their financial support in the airing of this message.
Official rules for 1340 WJOL. No purchase is necessary. All contestants must be 18 years of age or older to participate, unless specified in contest rules. An individual may win an ongoing contest every 30 days per household from WJOL in Crest Hill. All state, local, and federal and other taxes or other fees for prizes awarded are the sole responsibility of the winner. Prizes valued over $500 will be issued an IRS Form 1099 to report their winnings. All prizes are awarded as is. All entrants and winners agree that the station, Alpha Media LLC, and their affiliates shall have no liability and should be held blameless for any injury, misfortune, or damage to either persons or property insured by entering, participating in, winning, or losing any contest by use or non-use of any prize received. All entrants and winners agree the station may broadcast or publish their name, city of residence, photo, videotape, film, or any other likeness, including their voice, recorded or live for any reason the station deems necessary without compensation. The radio station reserves the right to change the rules for any contest at any time without notice and limit the amount of times an individual may enter a contest or drawing. The radio station will not be held responsible for busy lines, bad connections, disconnections, computer malfunctions, lost, late, or misdirected email, faxes, or any other circumstances. Get a full list of contest rules at WJOL.com.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM, along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and the sheriff, Evan Bredesen, spinning the dials. We will go out to the phone lines, well, just about immediately, and bring in the head coach of your Joliet Catholic Academy Hilltoppers. His name is Jake Jaworski. And Jaws, first of all, thanks for taking time to join us. And 1-0 is always a good thing.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Well, off to a good start, but we got a big test ahead of us on Saturday.
Jaws, I talked to you today. I actually saw Jaws today, but you knew I was going to ask this question. We talked about the heat, about cramps. Was there a lot of cramps in your game, and was there any water breaks? Because as I told you, there was really, if there was one at the Bolingbrook-Minooka game, it was because of an injury.
Yeah, we had some cramping on our end. I know Simeon was affected by some cramping on their end. I thought the officiating crew did a great job.
Yeah.
They talked to me pregame just about change of possession, as long as there wasn't like a momentum changing possession, like a punt block or a big return. If it was after a score or just after like kind of just a punt and change of possession, when they added about a minute or two on certain occasions.
I got the same thing, Jaws, I got the same thing from a lot of other coaches, because Joe, we talked about that, right, and it seemed real hit or miss. And a lot of fans were saying, "Hey, I didn't see really any water breaks," but the coaches said the same thing you did, Jaws. Yep.
Yeah, they did a great job. Our crew did, and emphasizing player safety and just it was warm. It was warm for sure, and those guys did a great job.
I mean, your guys' performance, obviously, you win 55 to, 6 or 8? I mean,
right.
I got to imagine it was all pretty good. Any takeaways from the film and maybe some things you need to adjust going into Cardinal Ritter?
I thought from a defensive standpoint, our guys played really, really well. Coach, our defensive coordinator, Zach Dolph, had the guys ready. I think we gave up 103 total yards, and it was 51 on one play, their touchdown or whatever. So we had a blown assignment. We had a couple coverage breakdowns that we ended up getting out of that play, a couple drop passes or whatever. So definitely happy with the way we played, but there was things out there that we had kind of a little bit of a point of emphasis on this week in practice from a defensive standpoint. So pretty pleased, but there's a lot of work to be done.
Jaws, offensively, we know all the big names, on offense, and they all got, they all had great games. And one guy in particular, and I'm going to ask this, how important is Vinny Iannatone playing in the backfield for you guys? Because I know he was out most of the spring, we'll call it the spring season, with an injury. Right. How important is he as far as being 100% in playing in that in the backfield for you?
Yeah, he's huge. He's huge. Yeah, Vinny, he's primed for a big fall after kind of being out most of the spring. But we've been expecting big things from Vinny, coming in as a freshman or whatever. And now this is kind of his opportunity, and he's going to have a lot of opportunities moving forward here. So he's a perfect complement to kind of Jordan, perfect counterback. but he's also a guy that could carry the load if we need to. He's about 5'10", 5'11", 205 pounds. Pretty shifty. He's got some kind of decisive speed or deceptive speed. Excuse me. That can go, but he's not afraid to lower his shoulder either. So he's kind of he can kind of do a little bit of everything back there, but he's going to be an important part moving forward.
Jaws, I know I heard from various people that Jordan had a little bit of an issue on Friday night injury-wise. What's his status?
He's a little bit day-to-day. Just kind of working through some things. So, we just got to get him right for the long run.
Walk us through the week. First of all, long road trip. Also an extra day here in between. So how do you kind of handle that and fill us in on the agenda for Saturday?
Yeah, it's kind of nice, getting the extra day this week after, kind of it was a big physical game on Friday. But being able to, get off our feet for the weekend and kind of regroup got us an extra day to prepare for Cardinal Ritter. We'll finish up our preparations tomorrow, and then bus is pulling out of the parking lot at 7:30 on Saturday morning. So we got team mass. We'll do team mass after school tomorrow, and then get into our final pregame prep after mass, and then we'll be up at school. By about 7:15 or so on the bus, ready to go 7:30, and then off we go. Try to plan a little pit stop about halfway through, probably a little bit south of Bloomington.
Yep.
Get everybody off the bus, like at a rest stop or something like that. Let guys walk around for about 10 minutes or so, and then kind of make the final trek.
Yeah. So that's generally the way most people handle that for sure. Fill us in a little bit, Cardinal Ritter. I know they had a close win over Cahokia in week 1. I mentioned that it's been interesting in the St. Louis area. It seems like, I guess the best way I could phrase it, it's been a very active transfer market. I know some teams have been impacted more than others. I mean, kind of what can your fans expect to see out of Cardinal Ritter on Saturday?
So, we're kind of going in a little bit blind, too. I mean, we have the film from last week. We have a film from their last game last year. With the film we have and jerseys and the point of view, no numbers. We can't really tell who's who. We don't have a roster. So, but just kind of doing some deep dive into some Google stuff. And, I think they got a couple 300-pounders up front. So they're kind of big. They're physical. And then, they have a lot of speed.
Are you playing?
A lot of speed. Go ahead.
Are you playing Bishop Sycamore?
Well, I think these guys are real. They're for real.
No, they're real, Joe. Trust me, they're real.
Yeah,
it's definitely real.
So they got some speed on the edge. They're real physical blocking on the edge too. A lot of their stuff offensively is on the perimeter. A lot of jets, bubbles, some go routes. They got some guys that can go get it. On defense, it's like they almost play like a dime type. They got 6'7", kind of like DB style athletes on the field that just run to the ball, floor the ball, and they'll hit. So we'll have our hands full on Saturday, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I know that they'll be somewhat familiar with your offense because there's a handful of schools that they play every year that kind of run a double wing and some of the motion stuff. So I know that they'll.
If you have any connections on game film on that, please let me know.
Well, Jaws.
To prepare on that.
Jaws, I would never say that on the air. But we'll see. But no, it's should be a good game for sure. Of course, WJOL. Scott Slocum, the mayor himself, making the drive.
Yeah.
That's how important you are to us. We're sending the top guy in charge to go cover your game Saturday.
Yeah, full day of media today. Talk to Scott in the morning. You guys in the afternoon. Yeah.
Well,
Coach at school. Talk to Coach at school too.
Yeah.
So.
The hardest working man at JCA I saw today. That was Josh.
Right.
Yep. There's no doubt. Talk about coverage a little bit. I'll leave you with this. We were talking about this earlier. It's not getting better, Jaws. It seems to be less and less. And as far as I'm concerned, it's not a good thing. Are you kind of noticing the same thing?
Yeah, it's and I know Steve does a great job with the Herald News. I know he's shorthanded and whatnot, but it's kind of odd when you finish up a game and there's nobody to talk to. I'm not going to complain about it because I don't have to talk to anybody. But especially, for our kids, our school community, fans and stuff like that. It's always great to see, teams' pictures in the paper, scores, write-ups, kids getting the recognition that they deserve. So I know it's a tough business out there, and, Eddie, you do a great job promoting, the high schools, but, going back to my days, playing, obviously that's 20 years ago now. Well, but, you used to wake up Saturday morning and there was 5 or 6 full page articles on games and stats and leaders and stuff like that. You always kind of felt like you knew what was going on in the area. And, that's kind of gone by the wayside a little bit, and you kind of feel bad for the kids and whatnot. But you got to use social media to promote your your program and your kids and stuff now. So that's become a big part of it. But it's definitely not like it used to be.
No doubt about it. All right, my friend, we appreciate you taking time and wish you the best of luck Saturday. And go get them. And you can hear that game right here on 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com. 2 p.m. kickoff from Cardinal Ritter. Thanks, Jaws.
Good luck, Jaws.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, Jake Jaworski joining us, and we appreciate Jaws for stepping in and joining us. And Joe, Cardinal Ritter's going to be ready. I think they'll throw some interesting things at JCA, and we'll see how things shake out.
I want to go behind the scenes here for a little bit.
Sure.
When 2 high schools from 2 different states are scheduling games, so in this case, Joliet Catholic from Illinois, Cardinal Ritter from Missouri, are there any extra hoops they have to jump through, or is it as simple as scheduling a game if Joliet Catholic wanted to play Joliet West? You just call them, are you open that weekend? Yeah. Hey, let's play.
Well, and again,
how do they end up contacting one another? How do they find out that they both have an open date and are interested in playing one another?
Phone calls.
It's just as simple as a phone call.
Do you know how many times I get asked for a head coach's phone number?
Well, so far during the show tonight.
Right now during the show?
I was saying twice so far tonight during the show.
Yes.
A coach has called you about
a game opening and a head coach's phone number, which, believe me, I'm more than happy to do. But
so they call around and ask, and if you say, Cardinal Ritter's got a game open, they call and say, hey, you guys interested?
And just like now, even with the COVID stuff, I mean, coaches are scrambling saying, I heard so-and-so's got an open game. Do you have a number for this guy? Call him up, and, the tape thing is easier now with Huddle.
Yes.
But there's still shenanigans that go on. There always is.
Yes, there is.
It's just a higher technology shenanigans that goes on.
You mean the Matt Steffner days of sending his scouts to 15 different games?
Or sending freshman tape.
And then,
I don't think he ever sent freshman, but I'll be right there. I wish I had a dime for every game, for every team I scouted for stuff. It was unbelievable.
Hey, you want to trade tape? No, we're good.
Yeah, we got you.
Then
they've been scouting you since week 1.
I had that Rodriguero guy down seeing you twice.
But isn't that the reason they eventually made it mandatory? Was in part because of
the Matt Steffner rule.
He did, saying no, I don't need to exchange tape. I had coaches scout you guys already. I don't need to let you see what I do.
And the thing to remember, and people forget this too, and God bless Gary Cohornan. He was like the Blockbuster of tape on high school teams.
Yes.
He had tape from everybody. I mean, he had tape going back. He had like 8mm tape. Seriously.
The reason he was one of the winningest coaches.
Seriously.
Yes.
So if you couldn't get it from Gary Cohornan or one of his connections, you weren't getting anything. So, and that was a big part of it too. So
those are the old school days.
Yeah, those are the old school
days. I watched a lot of 8mm.
You have tape
my day with stuff, a lot of it.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
The good old days. With the yes. The good old days. All right, we're going to step aside.
Before we step aside.
Oh, yeah, we got a very special thing.
I want to wish my granddaughter, Rowan Evangeline, a happy 5th birthday. I'm missing pizza.
Why are we here?
We should have done the show.
Why are we not out at your daughter's brand new house eating pizza, doing the show live?
Yes.
With the Rodriguero family.
Yeah.
I'm a part of it.
I know you are.
I finally got invited to my Rodriguero party.
Oh, I can't wait to get home to have my cake. Cake.
I like you just a little bit less now than I did an hour ago. We'll be back. This is the week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's news, talk, sports, and no cake.
Freddie Bear Sports in Tinley Park is the family-owned firearms store that you can trust. It's been around for over 40 years. Now, right now, Freddie Bear is inviting all vets to stop by to take advantage of the Glock Blue Label program, where vets get a strong discount on all Glock firearms. Call Freddie Bear Sports for all the details. 708-532-4133. That's 708-532-4133. And don't forget, if you need to sell a firearm, Freddie Bear will give you more money for it than anywhere else. Guaranteed. Plus, there is no other gun store that has more experience than Freddie Bear Sports. Looking for ammo? You'll find it at Freddie Bear. It's the place to go. Check them out today at FreddieBearSports.com. And remember, the Glock Blue Label program that can save you hundreds on a Glock firearm is now available to veterans. Stop in today. Freddie Bear Sports opens 7 days a week at 17250 Oak Park Avenue in downtown Tinley Park, or online at FreddieBearSports.com.
Prices are up, and now's the perfect time to get rid of that junk car. Joliet You Pull It wants it and will offer you free same-day pickup and the highest price in the area guaranteed. Plus, they're paying top dollar for all of your scrap metal. Get paid or get parts at Joliet You Pull It. When you need a certain part, find it cheap at Joliet You Pull It. Batteries are just $28. Tires start at $6. Wheels, $15. And headlight assembly, only $27. So come dig into Joliet You Pull It's expanded yard with over 1,300 foreign and domestic vehicles to choose from and no entry fee. Get parts, get paid, or get both at Joliet You Pull It. Remember, prices are up. Now's the perfect time to make some cash on that junk car. Joliet You Pull It, located 3/4 of a mile west of Bridge Street on Washington next to the railroad tracks. Or go to JolietYouPullIt.com. Joliet You Pull It, the way to save.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. COVID is once again a major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. An accurate thermometer, like the Exergen temporal scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance blokes fetching dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming...
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is Harry
and Leah
from Newmark Credit Union.
Listen this Tuesday to Money Talk,
presented by Newmark Credit Union.
Our guests talk about all kinds of topics.
I'll talk about the housing market and some good home buying tips.
Our experts will give you tips to help you do more with your money.
Don't miss your chance to win prizes.
Listen in this Tuesday, just after 9 a.m.
Right here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's news, talk, and sports.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. This is the Week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM, along with the Coach Joe Rodagero and Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen, spinning the dials. Yes, we finally have a nickname for Evan, and I'm going to make it stick by hook or by crook. Welcome to Pigskin Preview, and welcome to Bolingbrook head coach John Ivelo joining us on the phone. And John, appreciate you taking time. Welcome. And 1-0 is a really good way to start the year for you.
Thank you.
John, again, as you know, I mean, I was at the game. I think one of the even though I talked to Edgy Saturday, and I just said that you guys really kind of dominated things and stuff, but I'm sure you talked about all the penalties in the game, and I think that's something that, other than other things technically, how they played, I'm sure you brought that up this week with your players.
Yeah, I was very angry at the game, for most of the game, throughout the game, and I just found myself spending a lot of energy yelling at coaches and kids about accountability.
Yeah.
And, so much to the point that I told my athletic director and my principal that we're going to have a team meeting on Monday, and I actually brought the building principal in and let him speak to the boys as well. And let's just say we said a few things and changed a few things with how we do things and going forward. And I think we'll correct these things.
You know, and John, even and God, you've seen this over the years. It's one of those things where teams are going to try to pull that out of you. And teams are going to try to truly throw your game off. And, you know, how important is that to really understand that and to be conscious of it?
Quite. And that's why we try and explain. You know, we've got kids on our team with behavior disorders and IEPs and all these, you know, fancy academic terms, but they've got some things that trigger them. And some of their disabilities, we have to allow for them to do things and vent and stuff. But unfortunately, you got to know your audience and your setting. You know, you're not in school anymore. You know, if you're out in a store, it becomes a disorderly conduct. Or if you're out on a football field, it becomes a penalty. So it's life lessons for everyone.
Bobby Irvin. I mean, you start with him, and you know, I know you mentioned the fact that you could run a couple of different offenses at Minooka if and when needed. And wow, did he deliver for you?
Yes. Bobby's a great athlete, and he did a fantastic job for us. He's very versatile. He does just about everything, or he can do about everything. But Friday night, we needed him to play quarterback, and that's a true story. We told him on Monday afternoon, you need to learn quarterback. So needless to say, the game plan was shrunk down, which let us do things that we do well, and I think it benefited us.
Without a doubt. I just thought you outplayed them. I was very impressed with the overall team aspect, offensively and defensively. And I know talking to you at the coaches show, we talked about, you know, the offensive line stuff. I thought they did a pretty good job on Friday night. And when you guys came out for the first offensive play of the year for you guys, and I'm walking, I see Bobby Irvin 5'8", I see Jaquan Howard 5'7", but I tell you what, with compared to your offensive line, it was like as a defensive player, it had to be hard trying to find those guys because your offensive line, I thought, in my eyes, did a great job on Friday night.
Yeah, they did, and I like you. I'm looking at the kickoff, and you know, I think our tallest kid on our kickoff team's probably about 5'11", and
yeah, you're right.
You know, they had all their offensive linemen out there. I'm like, Jesus, are we ever going to play anybody that we can match up with size-wise?
Yeah.
But no, that old line, and you're calling me Lou Holtz Jr. I'm telling you right now, our starting defensive end, we traded. He was a starting tackle for us last year, offensive tackle. We flip-flopped.
There you go.
Traded a defensive player for him. Our nose guard's a sophomore, and our other defensive end was a converted linebacker. Our right tackle never even played football last year. Our center and right guard had limited action last year in the 6 weeks, and then our left guard, he's the only returning starter, 3-year starter for us. But we're unproven, and we didn't know what we had, and now we do.
Now, John, you know I love you. That's the only reason why I said it. I know I could get away with that comment with you. I know that since I've known you since
we
we're
played
5
each
years
other
old.
all summer, and we're like, yeah, we're good against us, I guess. But I don't know. We haven't played anybody yet.
Yeah.
Unproven. A lot of unproven kids.
Again, you know what a fan I am of Damon Walters, and I had a chance to talk to him during the week, and you know, again, a kid that maybe doesn't say a ton, but when he does, you really listen to him. And I asked him about this team, John, and he said, you know, we have all the talent we need to do what we want to do. Is that fair?
That's fair. We have no depth.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't get into that, but you know.
No, if we stay healthy, we're going to be a solid team. You know, give people, you know, a hard time and play hard and give you a battle. But depth is what I worry about. We do not have a lot of depth. I think you saw we had about 10, 12 guys in street clothes.
Yeah, you're right, John.
Suited up about 40 kids, 42 kids. And I think we're getting 8 of those kids back. Yeah, I think 8 out of 12 we get back this week. So,
taking on Simeon this week. And again, could the worst thing that could have possibly happened been the score from the week 1 game against JCA?
Oh, for them, that output, yes. For us, exactly, because number one, we're not JCA. We can't do the things they do and control that line of scrimmage as much as they did. We just, we've got a few guys, but we can't put 8-10 guys across the front like they do and just dominate a line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a lot closer than people think, and that Simeon's definitely a team that could take us down if we're not ready. We know all about their weapons and who we've got to stop. And they could be in a similar situation too. I noticed a few guys in street clothes for them. So we'll see what they bring back this week too.
We talk about non-conference scheduling. And again, I know that you've gotten creative. I know you've been able to find some teams and line up some really good games. Are these going to be home and homes, or are they 1-year deals, or what's the deal with the non-conference schedule?
No, we've got Minooka and Simeon both next year as well.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yes, we do.
How difficult is that to get lined up these days?
The non-conference games are very difficult to get lined up because everybody's looking for the magic, 5 wins.
Yep.
And I personally don't understand, the way the IHSA did it in the spring, I thought was fair. If you cancel because of COVID, don't penalize the team. Now, this year, they have chosen to penalize the team with a forfeit win for playoff purposes. And that makes me wonder, if you had a cancellation, why would you seek out another game and not take your win and the potential playoff points you might get?
Yep.
So I don't know. I just think it makes for, it was fun in the spring. We got to play different teams we may have never played. We got to play a Lamont
team.
We
played Lamont. That was great.
Exactly. It was great. It was fun. And it's kind of neat. It was kind of neat, seeing who canceled and who had to find the game. There were some nice matchups because of that last year. And there was no state series, so nobody really cared. And it was like, hey, let's just go out and see what we got.
So to clarify, in case the fans didn't catch what John had alluded to, and John, I'm glad you brought that up because I'd been talking to some other people about this as well. Fill us in. So basically, if you run into a COVID situation, let's say the opposite team, the opposing team you're playing, ends up having to cancel the game because of COVID, you get a forfeit win as Bolingbrook. But
let me use Simeon for example.
Sure.
If they got COVID or couldn't play because of COVID, he had to cancel the game, we'd get the win. And then everybody would expect us to go try and find another game. But now with them, the IHSA penalizing teams for COVID, I'd say, well, wait a minute. Simeon's going to win 8 games in the public league or 7 games, whatever's left.
Yep.
And so there's strategy involved. Let's get those points and a win. Why would you give that up for risk going in? Okay, we drew Loyola. We got to play, and then you lose.
Right.
Exactly.
So I don't get it.
Yeah, obviously that's something that's going to continue to get brought up as we go further down the road here. And you're right, they screwed up.
Especially a team like us. Take the win, stay healthy.
Yeah.
The less games for us now, the longer we play into the season healthy, I think.
Well, I hate to fill you in, and you know this, John. It's not just you these days with that same issue.
Yes.
It's statewide. It really is.
Yes.
And I'm tired, and Joe and I talked about this before. And again, I'll point to my friend Matt Lang, who I do a podcast with every Wednesday. We talked about the small schools, and there were quite a few games that were canceled last week. But John, a large majority of those cancellations were not COVID related; they were numbers related.
Numbers. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
it's an issue. I am aware of that as well.
And I appreciate you talking about it. Yeah. I really do, because a lot of guys out there, John, they want to stick to the company line and everything's great and everything's sunshine. But the reality is almost everyone's numbers are down right now. And it's something we need to talk about.
I'll tell you, we're an 8A school with under 100 kids in the program. Yeah. We have more soccer players in the program than football players. I'll give you an example. In 2005, we had 220 kids in our program. Now we have 98, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something that's going to continue to be an issue. But John, again, appreciate it as always. Good luck Friday against Simeon, and go 2-0 and go get them. Okay.
Yeah. Good luck, John.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys.
All right. John Ivalo joining us, and we always appreciate John jumping in and joining us. And yeah, Joe, those are issues we're going to continue to talk about. A lot of people don't realize that forfeit rule. the negative behind it. It's not a real good situation for people trying to line up games.
Right.
So, because why? I mean, especially if you're a team with limited depth, you're better off taking the forfeit and taking the week off.
Right.
Instead of going to play a Loyola
and then,
or someone who's going to steamroll
like John
you and
said,
you get a
then you
loss.
lose the game. Yeah,
right.
Then you lose. Then you take the loss.
All right, that's it for hour number 1. We will be back with hour number 2 after ABC News. So again, you are listening to the week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. Stick around. Hour number 2's next.
I'm Paula Basta, Director of the Illinois Department on Aging. Do you know an adult in danger because they are neglecting themselves? Do they have a mental or physical impairment and act in ways that threaten their own health and safety, even their lives? Adults in this kind of severe situation may need services or other help. Call 1-866-800-1409. All calls are confidential. Sponsored by the Illinois Department on Aging and this station.
How time flies when you're having fun, or at least trying to have fun. In 2020, we lost a season, and while we will never be able to get that back, the Malloy State Farm team is happy to be back on board with EDGYTIM and Coach Joe as the title sponsor of the Pigskin Preview. So here's to the players, the coaches, and the parents who have been waiting for this moment. Give it your best effort. Make it memorable. And on Monday, give the Malloy State Farm team a call at 815-463-5800 to get our best effort at saving you money.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me. My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide. And we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want your children and grandchildren to focus on their future, not tuition. For more than 150 years, Busey Bank has partnered with families and businesses to establish impactful, enduring legacies. Busey's experienced advisors can help build plans and develop strategies that work as hard as you do, evolving to create lasting impact for your family and legacy. Learn more at Busey.com. Member FDIC.
Tune in to 1340 WJOL every Tuesday morning at 9:30 for Life with Vitality, hosted by local weight loss and wellness expert Davis Jaspers from Vitalife of New Lenox. Life with Vitality covers health topics related to weight and diet. Learn more about your body, the science behind weight loss, and how the Vitalife program can help you lose 20 to 40 pounds in 40 days. Listen to Davis Jaspers on Life with Vitality on 1340 WJOL every Tuesday at 9:30. And learn about the Vitalife weight loss program at vitalifeweightloss.com.
From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet.
Deaths are blamed on Hurricane Ida and its aftermath. ABC's Aaron Katersky says most of them occurred in last night's violent storms across the Northeast.
The National Weather Service said more than a half dozen tornadoes touched down in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Most of the nearly 24 deaths in New Jersey were people caught in submerged cars. In New York City, firefighters spent much of the day recovering bodies. Most of the more than a dozen deaths in the city were people trapped in flooded basement apartments.
Harry Weed in the NYPD chief of
is the amount of rain that hurricane took from the Gulf.
Special odds, a number of drivers were rescued.
One of the people involved was a female, 88-year-old female with dementia, a 94-year-old male with hypothermia that was stuck in this water for a while. We're able to get them all the safety, get them medical care.
A Connecticut state trooper died when his car was swept away by rising water. President Biden has directed the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to exchange 1.5 million barrels of crude to ExxonMobil to enable refiners across to a new law. Essentially, abortions in one state.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi is labeling the Supreme Court action to uphold the Texas abortion law as cowardly, saying the partisan court chose to do so without a full briefing, oral arguments, or providing a full signed opinion is shameful. Pelosi says the House will bring up Representative Judy Chu's Women's Health Protection Act to enshrine into law reproductive health care for all women across America. The bill will unlikely pass the Senate's 60-vote threshold. Ike Gachachi, ABC News, Washington.
A former Arizona nurse pleads guilty to sexually assaulting an incapacitated woman at a long-term care facility where she later gave birth. Nathan Sutherland also pleaded guilty to a charge of abuse of a vulnerable adult. He could get up to 10 years in prison. You're listening to ABC News.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. But like any air filter, the more clogged up it gets, the less it works. So how do you clean your nose? I'm Martin Hoke, and I didn't invent nasal irrigation.
If I wasn't going to go
The thousands of years, but I did invent Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage has over 70,000 online reviews averaging 4.7 stars because it works and it's easy to use. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Now available with eucalyptus for a spa-like experience. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The Coast Guard says it's investigating reports of possible oil spills in the Gulf in the wake of Hurricane Ida. It comes after the Associated Press published photos which showed an oil slick south of Port Fourchon, Louisiana. Attorneys for 3 former Minneapolis police officers charged in George Floyd's death have asked a judge to bar their upcoming trial from being live streamed, saying some witnesses won't testify if the proceedings are broadcast. A CDC study of COVID-19 outbreak at a Chicago university earlier this year demonstrates how unvaccinated students returning to school can lead to outbreaks.
The CDC says a total of 158 cases were diagnosed. Of 140 students interviewed by researchers, nearly 2/3 had reported traveling outside of Chicago during spring break. At the time, college-age students were largely ineligible for COVID-19 vaccines. The CDC says the study demonstrates the potential for outbreaks at university campuses when students return from breaks. The agency says schools should encourage COVID-19 vaccination and implement regular testing among unvaccinated students. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
The South Florida house that Al Capone died in may be demolished. The Miami Herald is reporting that the new owners of the 9-bedroom Miami Beach house want to get rid of it after buying it for $10.7 million this summer. They say that it has flood damage. This is ABC News.
Nielsen says more than 30 million Americans watch Newsmax. It's the 4th highest rated cable news channel, and it's available on all major cable systems, or find it on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and more. And it's free on Roku, Xumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, and TiVo. Or download the Newsmax app on your smartphone. Watch it anytime, anywhere. Forbes calls Newsmax a news powerhouse. Millions of Americans are watching Newsmax. You should too. Tune in today.
The dean and the CEO of...
Are you afraid it may be broken? But a long wait at the ER sounds even more painful. I'm April.
And I'm Amy.
And we're the owners of Immediate Cure.
Did you know Immediate Cure's 2 locations offer x-ray? No more waiting in the emergency room. Let the family at Immediate Cure care for yours.
Check in online or walk in at Immediate Cure's 2 locations, open in Shorewood 9 to 9 and Joliet 7 to 7 every day for your cuts, sprains, pain, stitches, and x-rays.
We'll help you get better
together.
Got a problem with your car? Here's a chance to talk to the experts. Listen in this Thursday at 9:35 to Car Talk with the experts from the service department at Darcy Buick GMC. Call in with your questions about any vehicle and get honest, experienced answers about your car. Plus, get helpful tips for keeping your car in great shape for every season. Listen to Car Talk this Thursday at 9:35 a.m. Brought to you by Darcy Buick GMC on Essington Road in Joliet and in DarcyMotors.com. Right here at 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports.
Because I was
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back, you poor fools. You stuck around for hour number 2 of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. We first of all apologize and appreciate you for sticking with us through the first hour, and we are trying to maybe just be a little bit better in the second hour.
We try.
We're trying. We
We'll
loaded
try.
up the guest list, and that always helps. Our guests usually bail us out of what's generally a pretty lame show every week.
Yes.
I am EDGYTIM, your host, along with the one, the only. He's the only reason we started video streaming. Johnny Hanson, the coach. Joe Roddigero joining us. And running things behind the spaceship, the sheriff, Evan Bredesen. It's sticking. It's working, Evan.
It's going to work.
All right. So we are here. It is hour number 2. This edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by our State Farm agents, John Wright in Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And Joe,
State
I
Farm is
understand there's a gigantic piece of cake waiting for you when you get home.
Boy, the family is watching on YouTube. And my daughter texted me and she says, Papa, you're going to have a big piece of cake. So I'll think of both you guys as downing that thing when I get home tonight.
Like to say hello. It's CDog34 watching us on YouTube. Thanks for dropping in. Our good friend Nate Turner was out there earlier. Always good to hear from Nate. Nate obviously very busy. His son playing quarterback for Phillips this year, so I'm hoping Tyler has a little bit better week this week for Phillips.
And we have an audience in Houston, Texas.
We have an audience in Houston,
my
Texas.
very good friend Bob and his wife Sherry are listening. And Bob, I'll answer your question later on tonight in the last segment.
Because we don't have any more time for nonsense. We have to go out to the phone lines. Joining us, Joe, you do a fine job of introducing this gentleman, so I'll let it in your capable hands.
This guy, who I call the CEO and the dean of area coaches, and my good friend, the head coach at Wilmington, Jeff Raines.
That's beautiful. Coach,
did you like that, Jeff?
You probably liked that, good, Joe. I tell you what, I appreciate that, partner. That's good stuff. Good to see you. Good to hear from you guys.
Yes.
I thought you hung up.
I thought you did too.
Yes. No, we're good.
God. How bad? We might have to stop doing a show if coaches just hung up.
That'd be it. We have no use being here.
That'd be it. Hey, as always, it's an honor to be on with you guys. I'm glad we're playing here in August.
Well,
September now.
Yes.
Yep. And again, we're very fortunate for very low expectations, Coach. So we appreciate it very much. 23-0 week 1 win over Marengo. Sir, that's a big win.
Yeah, big win. Kids came out and played well. Obviously, that's a long road trip for us to go all the way up there. But to go up there and play Coach Forsyth and his program up there, those guys have done a great job. And for us to come out with a victory like that, our kids, came out, played well, like everybody last Friday, it was tough with the heat and everything, with the humidity. And, we stayed away from the cramping until about midway through the fourth quarter. It started hurting us a little bit. But, I think both teams kind of felt each other out the first half. And I think both teams very similar. And we both had kids back, but we also had a number of kids. That was their first time playing varsity ball. Yeah. And our kids, got some momentum the second half and did well with it. So we're very fortunate. But we also know we beat a very good program in Marengo.
Jeff, you already alluded to my first question about, you have a lot of, quite a few two-way players, and it sounds like they responded very, very well in this heat until the fourth quarter, because the game I was at, Manuka and Bolingbrook, a lot of cramps and things like that. Was that the hottest game you ever coached in?
I tell you what, when I was watching our Frost South game, and I got to tell you, I'll be honest, I'm watching it, And I said to one of my assistants, I said, hey, you know what? This game's going well. Our kids were playing well. And I said, I'm going to go check on the kids. And that was a roundabout way of saying, I'm getting out of the heat.
Yeah.
I'm getting back inside.
Yeah.
And Joe, I was talking to my assistants, and we were asking each other, hey, is this the hottest we've ever had? You know, and we've had some Saturday afternoon, early September games, and they've been hot. But the humidity and everything,
that was it.
My 28 years.
Yeah.
That's one of the top 2 or 3, I can tell you. It was tough.
Yeah, I agree. It was a combination of obviously the heat, but that humidity and no wind whatsoever. There was not a breeze to be found.
No, exactly. Matter of fact, and a lot of high schools do this, on Thursday night, you know, you'll have a late practice under the lights. You know, it's your first, you're doing a Thursday night pregame. And that Thursday night, I was like, you know what, fellas, it's, you know, when the sun goes down, it'll be all right. And boy, Friday,
it wasn't
at all.
It wasn't.
No, it didn't help at all. So it was tough conditions for a lot of people, but we were fortunate to be on the right side of it and end up being okay.
I know Marengo had a really good touted young quarterback coming in. How in the world were you able to shut them down?
You know what? He got some yards running. I mean, great athlete. And I'll be the first to tell you, he put the ball right on the mark a couple of times, and they had some drops. You know, and also, but kudos to our defensive backs. Coach Farrell does a great job with them, and we were able to make some plays when we had to. But the kid's special. I mean, the kid's, you know, he ran around on us a couple of times, and you know, really puts the pressure on you. So what we were fortunate to do is again the second and third and long. And so, you know, overall, it was okay.
Jeff, I read the article in the paper a little bit. Is this one of the quickest defenses that you've had at Wilmington?
You know what? Like I said, we had a good nucleus coming back. Alan Richards is a 3-year starter at linebacker, great player for us. And then Carson Hansen, he's a kid that came back off the spring. Is a real quick kid. And then, so we're not overly big, you guys. And offensive line-wise, we got a little size. But defense, we've gone small. And so we're trying to turn those guys loose a little bit. And Friday night, it worked out well. Now, you know, we got a little change of that now with Johnsburg coming down. You're talking about big. These guys are as big as we'll see.
Yeah,
and,
I know.
You know, they're a solid program. Welsh kid is a really good kid, obviously, at the old tackle spot. So, you know, we're able to turn our speed loose, Joe. I'm with you on that. It is one of our faster teams, but you know, let's see how we can do against this very good Johnsburg team coming down here tomorrow.
Yeah, it's funny because Coach, I've talked with Jacob Walsh. They're I think 6'6", about 290 tackle for a while now, and they're well aware. They're well aware of Wilmington football. They're well aware of the pregame, and so you know, and again. Here comes the connection to you and another area. Sam Lesniak, former Minooka guy. So there you go. Another area connection to you.
You know, and even with Paul last week, Forsyth. You know, he's a local guy, and now you go to Sam and just the utmost respect for those guys and their programs. And, you know, I always say, guys, the Joliet area is a special area for football, no doubt about that. And those guys know exactly what it takes to have a great program. And when we started lining up these games, you think to yourself, okay, I know we scheduled Johnsburg first. Okay, that's going to be a heck of a ball game. And then we couldn't find a week one, and now Marengo called. Holy smokes. You know, and then that's going to lead us into Coal City the next week. So for myself, you know, I would say in my time here, you know, our first 3 or 4 games here and then we follow up with Peatone guys. That's as good as it gets. And so schedule wise, it's really stacked. And you know, like I said, utmost respect for Johnsburg and Marengo and all of our guys on our schedule, but. We know we got a really good football team coming down here tomorrow.
But don't you want that, though? I mean, I'm just excited from the fact that, and again, Joe and I throw this around, and Coach, I would love your thoughts on it. We talked about last week we had Minooka Bolingbrook in games that, you know, out of the Southwest Prairie West, you know, the Southwest Prairie teams, no non-conference games until this year. And, you know, I mean, whether right or wrong, I truly think it makes you a better team when you play against. And especially look at you with your playoff situation. You guys have been locked into a regional area your entire playoff career. And there are teams like a Johnsburg, like a Marengo, you might not ever face. So at least you're getting a taste of some different teams and programs and styles. Personally, I love it, Coach.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, every coach, you know, you guys know as well as I do, every coach, you know, you get into these big games and you know it's going to be a physical game. And so you're just hoping first and foremost, boy, can we come out of here without a lot of injuries. But, you know, the other thing, guys, when you go through the COVID thing and football's taken away a little bit, you know, hey, let's play. You know, when you start to schedule some teams and look at what you can do and you know, I'll give a lot of credit to the Coalers over at Coal City too. You know, you open up with Morris, now you're going to Bishop Mack. Those guys doing, you know, up in what they're doing, and so I'm with you. I think it's great for the game. I think it's great for our area, and you know, and like I said, with Marengo last week and Johnsburg tomorrow, I mean, it's for us, it's good football. So let's see what we can do. You know, it's a non-conference game. Let's see what you can do.
And again, you're going to expose your program and how you do things in Wilmington to a group of fans that had never been, maybe drove through Wilmington on 55 is as close as they've come. And it's another chance for you to show them exactly what is special and what is really, really cool about Wilmington and Wilmington football. And Coach, there's no price for that at all.
No, I appreciate the kind words. No, it's we talked about it with our kids tonight after practice that you know, we played in the spring and guys, you know, as we go through the fall here, boy, do I feel for our kids, our seniors that I know they got the 6 games, but you know, I seen a lot of those guys last week, and you could see, you know, I'm glad we got the games, Coach, but this isn't quite the same, and I feel bad for those guys. But we talked to our kids tonight about it's been a little while since we ran down that hill and those fireworks went off with the motorcycles, and a lot of people are going to be there tomorrow night, and you know, let's make sure that on our side, we're ready to go, and let's get football back, and you know, a lot of excitement, a lot of people talking about it, and then, you know, like you said, you throw in the Johnsburg team. That's a really good football team.
Yep.
That's gonna bring your you know, maybe your casual fan. Well, where am I going to go tonight? Well, you know, maybe I'll go over to Wilmington, Johnsburg, and watch that. You know.
Well, we can never recommend it high enough to anyone that listens to this show. Knows we've touted Wilmington and Coal City and Peatone for a while, and we'll continue to do it. So, Jeff, appreciate it. Go get them tomorrow.
Hey, guys, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good luck, Jeff.
All right, Jeff Reitz joining us from Wilmington, and hey, doesn't get any better.
No, it does not. And you know, I tell the story a lot. The first time I did a game down there for WJOL and Wilmington scores a touchdown, that cannon went off. It scared me to death. I didn't even see it.
Rookie.
I didn't even see it. Jeff warned me about the fireworks, though. He did warn me about that. Was right behind where we were at.
Again, just a tremendous atmosphere. And again, these are 2 really good non-conference opponents to take on. And if Wilmington, look, Wilmington's rated number 1 already in 3A by AP. So people are already well aware of how good this program can be, but you pull those two off, and Jeff said, next week, Coal City. So again, it's truly, let's get after it, and I love it. I mean, they're playing as tough an opponent they can find, and I just think it's going to make them better down the line. So appreciate Jeff joining us. All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, well, we got a first-year head coach, and we got a first-year head coach that goes 1-0. Rob Keene will join us from Plainfield Central. You are listening to the Week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
How time flies when you're having fun, or at least trying to have fun. In 2020, we lost a season, and while we will never be able to get that back, the Molloy State Farm team is happy to be back on board with EDGYTIM and Coach Rodriguero as the title sponsor of the Pigskin Preview. So here's to the players, the coaches, and the parents who have been waiting for this moment. Give it your best effort. Make it memorable. And on Monday, give the Molloy State Farm team a call at 815-463-5800 to get our best effort at saving you money.
Menards has amazing deals to give your workshop an upgrade. Light up your entire workspace with a 46-inch ultra-bright shop light. This special buy has 12,000 lumens to brighten up large areas. And you can easily connect up to 4 fixtures. Get one for only $19.99 after sale price and 11% rebate. That's half price. Good through September 6th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
We are out on the streets today asking the public what they love about Manuka Creamery. Excuse me, miss, what do you love about Manuka Creamery?
Strawberry soft serve is my favorite, but there's no doubt my son loves
tornadoes. No, wait, sundaes.
And which one is your favorite?
No, wait, duh. You know that Grandma buys ice cream cakes and pies for all our family parties?
Oh, look, it's the local high school cheerleaders. Hi, girls. What do you love about Manuka Creamery?
Ice cream, slushes, and shaved ice. Manuka Creamery has everything nice. Go Manuka Creamery!
Here comes someone else. Excuse me, sir. What do you love about Manuka Creamery?
Can't go wrong with a shake, but my wife enjoys their fat-free smoothies.
And there you have it. Manuka Creamery continues to be the place this town loves. Visit them today at 111 East McEvely Road in Manuka. Credit cards are accepted. Get the latest scoop at ManukaCreamery.com.
Everyone loves Manuka Creamery.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you'll destroy your life. Listen to The Flot Line with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. here on WJOL. The Flot Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flot Line with Rick Hughes. Heard every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on WJOL.
There's like
Pigskin Preview with EDGYTIM on 1340 WJOL. And welcome back. We are in the middle of hour number 2 of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rodagaro and the sheriff Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. Want to thank our sponsors again, Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright and Joliet, your State Farm agents. Joe, quite honestly, we couldn't do this stupid show without them.
No, they're both great gentlemen. They work very hard at their craft, and they're both very successful.
And they're both White Sox fans.
Yes.
So there's even more to love about them.
Right,
sorry, Sheriff. Sorry to shoot you down. Up, the sheriff's walking off the show. Has Rob Keene hung up yet or no? Because that'll be when we're done. When Rob hangs up without taking our call.
Rob hangs up on it.
So let's go out to the phone lines. Rob, you with us?
Yeah, how we doing tonight, guys?
Good, boy. You know, we were just talking before. You know, when the coaches start like hanging up on us, I think we're done. I think our career's over with. But we are very excited for you, sir, because, well, first-year head coach.
Yes.
First win in the fall season. Congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a fun Friday night after a little bit of a warm bus ride up to Addison from Plainfield. But, the last time we talked, said how excited I was for our kids that get out of Plainfield and go play a game against some schools in other conferences. And, the kids responded well all week. Week one, they were itching for a game, and they, I think they showed that. Just couldn't be more proud of our guys. So I appreciate that.
So I've made the drive from Plainfield to Addison Trail. It's not that far, but on a Friday,
yes.
You might have been better off, like maybe flying a small plane into O'Hare and maybe taking a bus back down. How long did it take you to get to Addison Trail?
The Stevenson was the Stevenson that Friday afternoon, guys.
Of course.
So we were about an hour. But again, as our kids were good about it, and we talk to them all the time about controlling what you can control, and weathers and buses are not on that list. So I was proud of them. They got off the bus. We did what we had to do, and we told them, we're going to get ready to roll. So they responded real well, and I could not be more proud of the effort that them and our coaching staff gave all summer and all week to put on a performance like that.
Coach, you kind of answered my question. I'm going to ask you this. The last couple of weeks around the program, kind of tough. But again, it doesn't sound like that. The kids rallied around all that stuff, and the coaching staff, and you guys played very well and putting up 58 points, scoring on the first play of the game. It sounded like the kids got through that. You guys got through that, and you're ready for the next 8 games.
Yeah, and again, all I can say is, regardless of what situation's going on, this is a great place. I've been here for about 10 years. It's full of great families, great teachers, great people, and I love being here. And we tell the kids all the time that if something matters enough to you, you will find a way. And those are the 3 words that we've kind of rallied around all summer long. Hey, it's a shortened off season. We're going to find a way to make sure we're ready. Whatever it is we're going to find a way to make sure that we can close off everything that we can't control and focus on being ready to play a great football team. So, it was a fun night. Enjoyed it. It was, and again, just so happy for our kids and their families, everybody that made the trip up to Addison to support us. We're grateful for that, and we're excited to host a home game tomorrow night. So,
did you have your own moment to truly enjoy that at all?
That's a great question. I'm blessed with a lot of really great mentors here, from baseball coaches that I've been around coaching baseball as well, and bringing in some former coaches myself, a couple of Hall of Famers, and they all said, hey, Thursday, they all told me, we want you to enjoy tomorrow night. And, I'm blessed for people like that are able to remind me as well. At one point, I just remember looking at our kids, enjoying the moment, and how happy that made me. If I'm being real honest, and that's why we all do what we do, no matter who you guys are talking to, and you guys know that, doing what you guys do is we love coaching football, and we love being with people, young people that are rising above and achieving new things, and that makes me real happy. So I enjoyed it. I did, and the kids were great about it, and they helped make sure that I enjoyed the moment as well. So I'm grateful for them.
Is there a superstition? Is there a tradition? Is there a donut Saturday? Come on, Coach, fill us in.
I think the line is, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. So I'll probably wear the same thing tomorrow night.
There you go.
But to be honest with you, I think a lot of us ball coaches, we're creatures of habit as it is. So like I said, it'll be fun. We'll take the field and put the green and white out, and we're excited to see all of our fans. It's been so long since we've been able to have fans out here at Fort Beggs and James, and I'm excited to see the lights on and the kids up in the stands, and give that moment back to our community too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Again, nothing comes easy. You got Yorkville coming in, and that's a very, very strong Yorkville team coming to your place tomorrow.
You bet. Yeah, Coach McGuire does a great job over there, doesn't he? We played them now. This will be the 3rd year in a row, and they've bested us both times. Last year at home, they beat us by, I think it was 12 maybe, but it was a game that we were in. We felt like we were in positions, and they made plays on the stretch that, we needed to rally behind. So, our guys have been good about getting in their game plans and film, and, they've got some guys for sure. And we're excited to see again, how do our kids respond? It'll be a fun night, and it'll be, again, two Southwest Prairie Conference teams going at it. I think that both programs represent their communities great. They're full of, hard-nosed, blue-collar kids that are yes sir, no sir, and they want to make each other proud. They're going to come out and play for their teammates, and our kids are going to do the same. So I'm excited about it. It's turned into a game that we look forward to every year, being a cross-con or a non-con this year. But we're looking forward to a good power football game tomorrow, I think.
Rob, it was the Aaron Larkin show, on Friday night, 5 touchdowns, 142 yards. To me, that's unbelievable. When that just jumped out at me right away. But it was more than just Aaron. It had to be the offensive line and guys blocking for him and stuff. Give those guys a little bit of kudos right now.
Yeah, I'd love to. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about our kids. We returned 3 starters on the offensive line from last year when Aaron rushed for 883 yards in 6 games. And he had 10 rushing touchdowns, and 2 receiving touchdowns. So coming off of what would have been a 1,000-yard performance in 12-plus touchdowns in a normal season, Reese Theobald, I think, is one of the he's a center that just gets it done consistently. Jay Collier is another guy that plays on the side of our line with Nick Sauer. We are real proud of the work that those kids have done the last 2 or 3 years, just putting in time, committing themselves to their craft. Aaron, obviously, I think is, I'm biased, let's be honest here, but I think he's one of the best backs in the area. Doing what he does and the work that he's gone through, regardless of injuries or anything like that. He's an academic too. Those offensive linemen that are in the trenches, as well as the other 2 guys, Jesse and Matt do a great job too, coming up playing as juniors. And Connor is a senior that started his first football game. And, you talk about me, but he's 1-0 now too. And he threw for about 150 yards and a touchdown too. So could not be more proud of the way our offensive guys responded. We knew that we had a chance to be pretty good on that side of the ball. And so far, so good. Defensively, I can't help but also talk a little bit about those guys too. Is just looking at pitching a shutout.
Go ahead.
It's tough to pitch shutouts, I think, in high school football games, one way or the other. So they came up, they read their keys and they kept their eyes where they needed to. And they, Ethan Obeng's a guy that lost his junior year. He had a freak injury preseason. He's one of our outside backers, and he came up big for us all night. One play after the other. Philip Carlton holds down our insides, and he's a junior again. He played up with us last year as a sophomore, giving up a little bit of age and experience and size. And, he's another guy that just played real well. So both offensively and defensively, coming into the season when we were talking about, me taking over, I said, there are going to be people that are going to say that we're not ready. But we believe our foot's on the wall here, and we're hoping to kind of jump over. And we believe this is a group that can do that if they can keep their foot on the gas.
No doubt. Rob, again, just congratulations from us. And we appreciate you taking time to join us.
Yes,
and,
congratulations.
good luck tomorrow night. Go get another one.
Guys, I truly appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk to you guys. I always enjoy listening to the show and talk about how great our kids are. So thank you anytime.
You bet.
Good luck, Rob.
Rob Keene joining us from Plainfield Central. And again, you bet.
You're
and,
welcome.
we appreciate him
You're welcome.
joining us. Joe, as you mentioned, not an easy situation for sure. But again, I give Rob and his staff and those kids all the credit in the world for picking up the pieces and moving forward.
So do I. And again, it's a way, as we all know, in here and all the coaches, when you start playing the game, you just worry about the game. You don't think about anything else.
No, that's all you can control.
Except your kids that are playing, and that's all you care about. And it sounded like those kids at Plainfield Central last Friday night rallied together and just played an outstanding game. And for the coach staff, for Rob's first win. And again, you don't forget that first win, Rob. You truly won't.
No doubt at all. No doubt at all. All right. Open phone line, 815-254-7300, Joe. Rapid fire. We're going to break down games in the area. You ready?
I'm all set.
And again, 815-254-7300. Lines are open. Give us a call. By the way, Yusuf Aldawadi, do I know your brother? Yes, I know your brother very well. He's an excellent offensive lineman, 2022 from Maine East. I love the kid. He's a fantastic young man. So there you go to answer your question. Thanks for watching, everybody on YouTube, by the way. Really good numbers tonight out there. Maybe some of you will get a big piece of cake when you get home. Some of us,
not from me,
not so much. Not
from me.
All right,
Not from me.
Joe, Providence, big win for Cogs over Willowbrook on the road. Unfortunately, a very good Wheaton North team.
They got to find some offense. 10 points ain't going to be enough for the Celtics.
No, it's a tough matchup for sure. Talk about the YouTube stream. I know we had some questions earlier. Crete versus Plainfield North. Who wins, Joe? And by the way, is it a track meet or is it a football game? Because you are going to see some speed on that field.
They got to check the bulbs on the scoreboard before this one. To me, it's going to be one of those games that the team with the ball last is going to win the ball game.
Yeah,
it's going to be that good of a ball game.
It's going to be that good. Yeah, it is going to be an interesting game in a lot of different ways for sure. And again, love Plainfield North. taking on a good, strong Crete team. And Crete and John Konecki, he loads up every chance he gets at non-conference. Give him credit.
Yeah, played Lincoln Waste last year.
Should be a really good game. We talked a bit about Joliet Catholic Cardinal Ritter. Fans want to know what to expect. I just look at that Cardinal Ritter 2-point win over Cahokia. So either they were holding out their big-time players, or maybe Cardinal Ritter just isn't what they're expected to be this year. I think JCA comes away with the win.
I think so, too. The offense is just way too strong.
The bigger question I have is, will Scott Slocum find Pappy's and get ribs in St. Louis? That's my question.
Or some nice Italian restaurant on the hill.
Johnsburg at Wilmington, Joe.
I know this. I know we had Coach Reentz on, and I know, Johnsburg's a very good team. I'm going with the Wildcats here. At home, the first game really at home in 2 years, and Jeff talked about it.
And Johnsburg fans, you'll experience that atmosphere.
The atmosphere is unbelievable. There's only probably a few places in the state of Illinois that is like Wilmington, but they do it the best.
All right, people are on the stream are asking me what's the number to call in. 815-254-7300. We have a couple minutes now, then we've got a break at 40. Then we'll come back for the last segment. Joe?
Yes, sir.
2 0-1 teams, but a terrific battle. Coal City taking on Bishop Mack in lovely Kankakee.
Yeah, Coal City, gave Morse a good run for their money. Who did McNamara get beat?
Lost to Marmion 12-7, I believe, which is shocking because Bishop Mack has a couple of really good running backs.
Is Rich retired from coaching? Is that
this year?
This is last year.
This is last year.
Again, going down to Bishop Mack, much like Wilmington or Coal City, it's a hard place to win. And I'm gonna go with Bishop Mack here.
The Tone, Joe, on the road at North Central High School in Farmersburg, Indiana. Tully spreading far and wide.
Yeah, he is. Big win last week. I'm going to go with the Tone until they prove me wrong.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Bob from Lockport, and I think Bob wants to talk Lockport Porters, Bob.
I think so, too.
Good evening, Bob.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. I assume you want to talk Porters.
Good. Of course.
We are here. We are here to help.
You guys get a chance to score from last week?
Oh yeah, we saw the score, and it sounded like Lockport came out with guns blazing and never looked back from the opening kickoff.
Bob, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to predict you to go 2-0 this week.
No doubt. I actually wanted to hear your guys' predictions score-wise. It's such a good ad.
I mean, I will tell you, Mattia does have some talent. I mean, this is not a really down and out program. I think the problem with Mattia, and has been for a while, they just don't have the line play. And you're playing in a DuPage Valley conference that is physical. They get after it. Keep an eye on Jalen Johnson for Mattia. He's a wide receiver, probably 6'4", about 170, 175, committed to Northern. Very good player. Johnny Flynn's another really good player for Mattia. But Bob, I think it's going to be a lopsided score in Lockport's favor. I don't know if that helps you or not. But
yeah, for sure. I think the way that the Porters played last Friday against Joliet West, I think they could easily play probably a little bit better, and I think they can win by at least 50.
Yeah, I think things are going to get interesting. Joe, I'm trying to look. I know the schedule.
Later on down.
Yeah, later on down.
Yeah.
But I think if you were doing your projections early on and you looked at Lockport's schedule, you were like, yeah, okay, they're going to get off to a pretty good start. And so far, it looks that way. Bob, anything jump out at you about from last week? Maybe something you weren't expecting, or maybe a kid or two that kind of stood up?
Yeah, I think I don't know if you guys know Andrew Cochran Forrest. I think he had a really good game. They get 2 sacks, a forced fumble recovery. They also have a free safety, Nick Franciscovich. He had a great game. On the offensive side, I think the wide receivers, Danny Martisak and Ryan Little, had a good game. And you guys know Hayden Timoshek, obviously the quarterback, big guy. His brother had a great game. Hyatt, the touchdown over.
Yeah, Hyatt's going to get a lot of recruiting interest. Mark my words. If it hasn't started yet, it's going to very soon.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and I think they're going to get the offense one more this week. Yeah. I think they're going to play a lot better game.
So if you're looking at the Porter schedule, the Tia Valley this week, I think they get the win. They host Bradley in week 3, and Joe, we know Bradley. Bradley's always that scary team, but they're a lot less scary on the road.
Yes, I agree.
So I think you have a very good shot of going 3-0, and we can do this, Bob, because we're media. We're not coaches. I'll project you out to the state finals if you want.
That's right.
But
That's right.
Again, it's ironic because I thought this game was a real measuring stick last year, Joe, and it's going to be again week 4 on the road at HF.
Yes, I agree, and Bob, I think you would agree too with the matchup that the Porters have with the speed of Homewood Flossmoor and again. If Lockport plays their game, it's going to be a good game. And I think the Porters can actually take them.
I think so too. Yep. I think so too. I think everyone's going to be watching, because my poor TF North Meteors, they're not what they used to be. So, people were certainly expecting HF to pull that one off, which they did. I think it gets interesting. They're on the road at Cahokia, and again, I don't know how that game happens and how HF has to go travel to Cahokia. Is Cahokia paying like a big guarantee or something? They must be. I don't get it, but I don't think scoreboard comparing, we're not going to get a lot out of that game either. No. And Lincoln Way Central, we'll talk about the Knights a little bit. I don't know where they're at right now. Hopefully they'll bounce back this week. So, Bob, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that week 4 game might be just as important for HF as it is for Lockport.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the key there is just the upfront play, O-line, D-line.
Yeah.
And not only the O-line and D-line, I think the H-backs and tight ends, Connor Holloway, tight ends for the Porters. He needs to have a good game, not only, receiving, blocking. I think that's the main thing. Same with Hyatt, Moshek. And I think the Porters shock people.
Yeah, I agree. Bob, we appreciate it as always. Don't be a stranger. All right.
I take care, Bob.
Bob drops off, and we appreciate it. Yes. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back. We've got one more segment. This is the Week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Whether you're looking for a full house or just a couple of options, you want the 3 of a kind you get at Rolando's Furniture and Appliances. Selection, savings, and service are the 3 cards we play at Rolando's. And that makes a winner for our customers every time. Come see a huge but not overwhelming selection of the most stylish, comfortable, and functional furniture in the Southland. Our stunning 14,000 square foot showroom doesn't make you wade through aisles and aisles of subpar wares. Our showroom is jam-packed with efficiently merchandised pieces that will make any home a well-furnished castle. Rolando's Furniture and Appliances belongs to the Nationwide Marketing Group, America's largest buying and marketing group with over 10,000 storefronts doing $14 billion in combined sales, which allows us to provide our shoppers with the best price. So come get dealt the best deal on a full house or just a pair of your favorite selections at Rolando's Furniture and Appliances, 140 South Broadway in Coal City, or online at rolandosfurniture.com, where the best hand is a 3 of a kind: selection, savings, service.
It's good.
It's severe weather season, and 1340 WJOL's meteorologist Rick DeMaio is ready to bring you up-to-the-minute information of when the storms will hit, where they will hit, and how hard they will hit. Rick is wired in with the National Weather Service, so he has the best technology available. Storm season is not something to take lightly, and rest assured, Rick DeMaio and WJOL will be there for you, Joliet and Will County.
Your coach too, also.
In our ever-changing world, one thing that hasn't changed is the fabulous caramel apples at Dan's Homemade Candies. And we always deserve that mouth-watering, sweet, delicious, hand-dipped fresh caramel apple from Dan's Homemade Candies. All of Dan's many varieties of caramel apples start with a crisp, juicy, farm-fresh apple. That apple is dipped in Dan's smooth, creamy, homemade caramel, made fresh daily right here in the store. Enjoy it as the original, or try that apple dipped in Dan's chocolate, or with nuts, or both. Try it with white chocolate, dark chocolate, in a starter size, or up to the biggest, fattest caramel dripping apple you've ever seen. These famous caramel apples are only from Dan's Homemade Candies, and they're only here for a limited time. There is still good in the world, and Dan's Homemade Candies has it. Get your caramel apples today in 3 locations: 1003 Plainfield Road in Joliet, 11400 West Lincoln Highway in Mokina, and starting after Labor Day at 229 East Cass Street. Online at danshomemadecandies.com.
You could stay home and chill. Tonight's 11 o'clock news. Or you could grab your friends and go have some real fun. Yeah! Right. You could stay home and keep Tigger company. Or you can finally ask that cute girl from class out on a date.
Here, stand like this.
Like this?
And aim for the arrows so you keep on track.
You get the point.
Echo Lanes and Crossfire Laser Tag in Morris is open and committed to providing family-friendly fun at affordable prices. Every Tuesday is Quarter Mania. Bowling shoes and pop are just a quarter each. Hot dogs are 50 cents, and so are fries after your $6.50 cover charge. Laser Tag is just $4 per session every Thursday, no limit. Come back Sunday and bowl for just $3.75 per game all day. Echo Lanes and Crossfire Laser Tag at the junction of Routes 47 and Route 6 in Morris. Open Mondays at 4, Tuesday through Sunday at noon. Birthday party packages are available. Log on to echobowlinglanes.com for more details. That's echobowlinglanes.com.
It's a tradition. It's a passion. It's a way of life. High school football in Will County runs through the blood of sports fans everywhere.
2 huge showdowns this weekend. 4 outstanding teams. Lincoln-Moy East at Naperville Central Friday night at 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, live from St. Louis, Missouri, Cardinal Ritter entertains our Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers. All brought to you by Tire Tracks USA.
The best football in the state plays right here on 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com.
Week 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Of course, this edition and every edition brought to you by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet, like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And we've got about 10, 11 minutes left in the show, so we are going to rapid fire more previews. 815-254-7300 if you want to sneak a call in. We'll try to get you in. All right, you ready? Here we go. Antioch, the Yak, another weird non-conference game at Morris, Joe.
Big win by Morris last week against Coal City.
It's a clash of cultures, this game.
Coal City. Yes.
Seriously.
Oh, without a doubt.
And it's going to take Antioch 2.5 hours to get down here.
That long bus ride plus Morris winning last week, I'm picking the Redskins.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Joe,
yes,
your Lamont Indians, huge win. They take care of business against St. Charles East. Big game hosting Naz.
Yes. Big game. I've thought about this game. The last couple days. Defensively, Lamont very strong. Defensively, the offensive Lamont, as I call it, helter-skelter defense of Nazareth. You know, they blitz guys from all over if they can handle that. I don't see Nazareth scoring a lot of points against Lamont's defense. I really don't.
I think Lamont could upset them. There's something not clicking at
the Indians. I just think
I'm
they're not going to score enough.
We talked quite a bit. Do you have a high-pitched thing in your ear, by the way? Good. I thought I was losing my hearing.
Yeah, I do.
Rich Township at Joliet Central, Joe?
Well, Rich Township, as we all know, conglomerated together, and I'm looking at them. Just too many athletes for Joliet Central.
Manuka at 0-1, taking on Joliet West at 0-1. Is this a must-win already for Manuka and for Joliet West?
Yes, I was just going to say this is a must-win for both teams. I'm sure both teams will play better than they did last week, but I'm looking for Manuka to play better.
Shepherd on the road at Plainfield East. And Plainfield East took it on the chin to Plainfield North.
And again, going into the Southwest, South Suburban Red, I believe the conference is that Shepherd's in. Shepherd's had some good teams over the last few years. But again, Plainfield East has got to get on the board.
The good news is, Joe, we are not both losing our hearing at the same time.
Okay.
So, Plainfield South at 0-1 doesn't get any easier. They go on the road taking on the Calb.
The Calb's pretty good, and I'm going to pick them to win this one.
As we mentioned, Romeoville at West Aurora unfortunately has been canceled. We do not have a reason why yet from the school, but we do know that West Aurora is scheduled to play and host Eisenhower. So 1-1 tells me there's something going on at Romeoville.
Okay. Yes.
We'll leave it at that. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Creek Boney at Plainfield North, as we talked about, they better check the light bulbs in the scoreboard at Plainfield North.
Yes.
Coach Holler will be there, the track coach, taking in the athletes, and that'll be a heck of a game, Joe.
Yeah, as I said before, the team that has the ball last could be the winner here.
No doubt about it. I think one of the top games in Chicagoland, Lincoln Way East on the road at Naperville Central. We talked about this a little bit off the air, Joe. I'm a little nervous if I'm Lincoln Way East. This could be a dangerous game you're walking into.
As we're talking about kind of an experienced Lincoln Way East team for the first time in a while, and Rob, said that at the coaches show. But when I look at this, two things. Is that 2 years ago when Lincoln Way East won the state championship, I watched their first game, and I was a little concerned defensively. I talked to you after the Naperville Central game. I said Lincoln Way is going to be
just fine. Yeah.
You're going to have to beat the beast. You're going to until somebody beats them. I'm not going against.
Until somebody beats them, I'm not going against.
I hear you. We talked a bit about at Lockport at Mattia Valley. Again, Mattia Valley's got some players. This is not a down and out program, but it's just up front is where the difference is going to be. And unfortunately, Mattia Valley just won't be able to hang for 4 quarters, I believe, with Lockport. Simeon at Bolingbrook, Joe. I mean, it hasn't been good so far for the public league.
No, and Jaws, when I was talking to him today, he says when they got off the bus, Simeon, they had 5 or 6, maybe 7 guys, 300 pounds. But again, the quickness of Bolingbrook, and I think that's what kind of beat Manuka also was the quickness and the speed of Bolingbrook. I see John going 2-0. If they play anywhere near what they played last Friday night,
Lincoln Way West, unfortunately, 0-1. Now they go on the road taking on a very solid opponent in 1-0 Oswego East.
That was one of the games that the game and the score kind of surprised me very much.
Well, that was Hersey, right? Hershey's a pretty good team.
Yeah,
they're ranked.
The score kind of threw me off. And we know about Oswego East. They're right there too. So this is going to be a very competitive close game.
Lincoln Way Central again at a rough week 1. They are at home. They take on Lake Park. I say Jeremy Cordell and the Knights go 1-1.
Okay, very good.
St. Francis, we're scheduled to begin the season taking on St. Thomas FCS program up in Minnesota, relatively new FCS program. The Tommies have been a power for decades in D3, finally made the move up to D1. Fortunately, game has been canceled due to COVID concerns. So the Fighting Saints won't get after it until they won't kick off the season until September 18th at home versus Marian University, Joe, unfortunately for the Saints. It's a shame. That's a good payout for St. Francis as well.
Before we go off the air here, my friend in Texas, and this shows our age.
You knew the stars at night are big and bright.
Yeah, so he sings that too every once in a while. He asked me a question about offense.
Yes,
the difference between what we knew as far as he was down in Tech during the wishbone era and stuff like that. The closest thing, Bob, that we see of nobody runs that.
What's the question?
He says, does anybody run the wishbone up here anymore?
Yeah.
The closest we get to that is your Joliet Catholics, your Geneseos, and some of these run the
Cary
Grove,
some of these run the
Ridge.
And they're successful doing
they are. They're very successful. And I talked to you about Joliet Catholic when we do talk. Everybody's running that pistol offense, shotgun spread. What you see, I mean, you see it in Texas too, as you watch college football. And I'm watching Ohio State over my shoulder. That's what everybody's going to. Wilmington, we talked to Jeff Reentz earlier. They very successful. They run the same type of offense. Some of these schools do spread out a little more, but they still run the basic offense.
Some of these schools do spread out.
Yeah, it's kind of it's unique for sure when people see a wishbone and
scratch their heads and go, what is that? What are they doing?
Unfortunately, we're at that age where we remember.
Oh, I know.
Unfortunately, we're at that age where we
All right,
remember.
I think that's going to do it. Week 2 Pigskin preview in the books. Again, want to thank our coaches, Jake Jaworski, John Ivelo, Jeff Reens, Rob Keene for joining us, our callers who joined in, everybody watching, listening online, watching on YouTube. We appreciate it. It's fun. Love when you guys chime in and text us comments and questions. You've been relatively well behaved with those two, so we appreciate it.
Yes.
Again, we'll be back here every week. We'll do this all the way through the state finals, and hopefully we have a few teams from the area to talk about. I think so, Joe.
Oh, I think so.
I think we'll get a better idea after this week, but
I think so too.
yeah, things are looking up. So,
yes.
For the coach, Joe Rodriguero, for the sheriff, Evan Bredesen, I'm EDGYTIM. Thanks for listening and watching. This has been Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.